Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Coach's Kage Show on 3KGthecage.com. Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay are your hosts tonight. Scotty Miller controlling the camera and the audio portion of things. And we're here at Arnie's in Rensselaer. Great food, great atmosphere, great drinks. Just come on out and enjoy us. Enjoy the food out here, I should say, and
chat with the coaches.
Chat with the coaches. That's why we brought Willis over to chat with the coaches tonight. So, and us three, Greg and Bill and I, will be at Tri-County on Friday night for a Midwest Conference matchup as the Cavaliers and the West Central Trojans hook up. And speaking of Tri-County, Coach Jake West has joined us. Jake, good to see you again. How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than last week.
Yeah, you are. Absolutely.
Kind of, boy, polar opposites. Huh? I mean,
yeah.
Nice bounce back for the Cavs.
Yep, absolutely is. Yeah, we started off slow. Yeah, I told him, I was like, I don't know what it is.
Wait a minute. You played at Attica, right?
At Attica.
Final score was
Final score was 46-22, I think. It was a weird score. We got down early, which last year we played Attica. We got down 6-0. And then we have they score a long touchdown on us. They throw a double move against our freshman corner. Score a long touchdown, and we get down 6-0 again. I'm just like, what? Like, can we just refrain from starting off behind versus Attica, please? We were able to get some momentum going, and once the floodgates opened, it was game over.
I gotta ask you a question. I'm looking at your statistics through 2 games, and you've got a young man running the ball here who's already piled up 361 yards.
Yeah, it's
2 games. Jonathan Pearson.
Jonathan Pearson. He is one heck of an individual.
What's going on with that, man?
He's had so he could have had a larger role in the offense last year, but he also runs the defense. So I told him, I was like, last year, I was like, I'm looking long term here. I want you to have the defense to where you can call it second nature, right? Because he sees things on the field, he makes adjustments, he sets the strength, all these things. He can do that second nature. Requires next to no effort for him. I was like, I can teach you how to run the football. That won't be an issue. I was like, just give me a good offseason. We'll get you worked in, and next year you'll have the defense down, and then you'll be the focal point of the offense as well. As just give me a year. So he did that. He ran the defense last year, finished with over 100 tackles as a sophomore. And now this year, it's kind of like everyone's like, where'd this kid come from? And he's had a great offseason. He's so much stronger. He's a great person in the classroom. He's a great person in the weight room, in the halls, outside in the community. Like, he does a lot of great things. I'm very proud of his effort that he's put into it, and I'm glad that he's having the year he is.
Who played well for you the other night?
Well, Jonathan Pearson did. I mean, for starters, if we're just going to start there, he had 26 carries for 234 yards and 5 touchdowns. So by what I checked on Max Preps, 361 puts him first in 1A for rushing yards, and 7 touchdowns puts him tied for first with, I believe, Josh Ringer, who was a player of the year for the state finalist last year for East Central, something like that. They went to state for 4A. So he's in with some exclusive company, so he's doing really good for himself there. Defensively, we had 15 sacks, but we couldn't figure out who got the last half of a sack, so we just didn't give it to anyone. So there was 3 of them got there at once, and we couldn't see the numbers. So we were just like, all right, whatever. We're just giving the half to who we saw. Gabe Sanders and Kevin Martinez each had over 5 sacks.
Wow.
And that number seems a little inflated because Attica doesn't run the ball. They go empty every play. So, when you go empty, there's a higher chance you're going to get sacks. And those 2 got after the tackles, and they got home a lot. So, that's kind of why they were able to get so many of those sacks there.
So is this normally then, because I'm looking at the difference, you only have 88 yards in 2 games through the air. But
averaging 88 a game.
Yeah.
So, and the
241 on the ground.
Listen, here's the thing. If you're running the ball efficiently, you're going to have a good day. But for us throwing the ball, we've had a lot of big plays either dropped or called back. So it's not like we're just not throwing the ball well. We're not good at it necessarily. It's just we haven't been able to finish the plays. Like we had, we had 1 touchdown called back versus Covington. We had another touchdown called back versus Attica. We had another touchdown dropped versus Covington. And, it's like we had another 25-yard gain dropped. We had another 25-yard gain that came back with a penalty. So it's like it's not like the plays aren't there. It's we're so close. And I keep telling Kobe, I was like, just keep trusting it. The plays will come. Like we're getting so close.
Man, I'm surprised you still got hair.
Dude, it's
That's gotta be
it's
frustrating.
stressful. It's stressful. I got another picture of the one from down the sideline. I don't think I should tell the officials, but hey, like it's two weeks in a row we've gotten an out of bounds call where I've got the picture. The dude is inbounds. So, officiating's hard. I understand that.
All right. Well, let's talk about what you did in practice this week. What was the focus there?
West Central, they've got Mark Hall does a great job with that team, and I kind of joked, I think, last week when I was talking to our coaches, I'm going to watch film, obviously, but I almost don't need to watch film because I know what I'm getting from Mark Hall. Like I know what I'm getting. He's going to have up front a D line that's going to get after you, right? They're going to be mean. They're going to be ornery. They're going to get after you. He's going to have linebackers that fill the hole hard, that play the run very well. He's going to have an athletic, rangy secondary that's going to get around and make plays. Offensively, they're going to have an O-line that, again, same thing, will get after you. They will move you up front. They will double team you. They'll get to the second level. They run like this wing T version of offense where they try to get good angles and stuff like that, get the ball in space. And then, of course, you turn the film on. I'm like, yep, that's what we're getting. So, he does a good job with them. They're the reigning champs. So I've always been of the opinion that you're the champ and someone beat you. So they're undefeated last I checked, which pretty much everyone in the conference is undefeated in conference play because no one's played. So, they're the reigning champ as far as I'm concerned.
I'm going to go back to your first two games a little bit. Talk about some of these kids' performances. Receiving, Anthony McFadden has already got 6 catches for 96 yards. So
if he had one step faster, he would have had a 70-yard touchdown. But he got. I was asking about what happened because he had a good angle on the kid, and he's like, "Well, I don't think I outrun him, so I'm just going to try and run through the tackle." And he gets tripped over the kid at the 6-yard line. I'm just like, Anthony, just keep running and let it fall as it may. Noah Pratt had a tough outing. The kid did a good job covering him. He got open a few times, and we just couldn't quite get the ball to where it needed to be for him to be able to make the play uncontested. So the kid did a good job competing with him. But again, he had 2 or 3 balls that I thought he had a really, really good shot at that could have been either touchdowns or 30, 40-yard gains, and it's just for whatever reason we just couldn't complete them for that day. So
2 catches on the year for 72 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has. He's another one who's not very fast. I love Noah. I give him so much grief. He had a ball that he caught that if it was pretty much anyone else, it would have been a touchdown. And for him, it was just a 50-yard gain, which, a 50-yard gain is nothing to roll your eyes at. But I gave him so much. I'm like, man, if you could just be 2 steps faster, that would have been great. So he's a good kid.
So what are going to be the keys for Friday night?
This may shock you, what I'm about to say, but if we can win third down and win in the red zone on both sides of the ball, it'll be good for us. I'll die on the hill if you can do those 2 things.
How important is a fast start Friday night?
Well, we haven't had a fast start yet this year. I would like to have a fast start. That'd be cool. I don't know what it's like to have one. I don't even know if it changes the outcome at this point.
So you've been behind both games.
It's we just, for whatever reason, we start off slow. I don't know if it's almost like a little bit of a culture thing to where they're kind of so used to being in games that are either nip-tuck or not even really close that it's almost like we show up to games and we're just like, all right, can we compete with them today? And then after the first few drives, we're like, oh, yeah, okay, we can compete with them. But by that point in time, it's 7-0, 14-0, something like that. And so now you're starting behind the 8 ball.
So you got to get that mindset out of there.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're working on is it's just like you have to show up and expect to have a chance to win. Expect that, and I understand it's hard. You look at some of the teams in our area who, as you go through those ups and down years, you get through a down year. It's hard to pull yourself back out of it because you're just so used to, oh, well, we're going to go lose to this team by 40. We're going to lose to this team by 40. So it is what it is. And it's just watching them slowly gain that confidence. It's like, well, we actually can go play with these guys.
Confidence makes a big difference.
Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does.
Looking on the defensive side of the ball, you got a lot of guys racking up a lot of tackles here so far.
Oh, we absolutely do. And that's part of the thing is we do a good job bending but not breaking on defense. We do a good job there. It's been something that Lucy does a great job with them. And a lot of teams try to go east and west on us. A lot of teams tend to not be strong enough to move us up the middle because we've got Sabre Province, we've got Ephraim Bulls, 2 kids who are phenomenally strong athletes who've been put in a great offseason in the weight room. And, Jonathan Pearson up the middle as well. He's a strong kid too. And teams have a hard time beating them physically up the middle. It's just hard to move them. And you can do it a few times. You usually can't do it very often. So it forces teams to go east and west. Well, when you go east and west, now you're kind of getting into the lanes where you're not gaining 4 yards, you're gaining 2. And so that opens up the doors for chances for more tackles. So like Attica threw bubble screens pretty much the entire game. So our two D tackles had 0 tackles. I was like, that sucks for you guys. But then you look, everyone else had great games.
Noah Pratt, 20 tackles already, 15 solo.
He's doing a great job out there at corner. He has our lone interception on the year, which ironically enough came in the red zone. He read it and jumped it and took it back. For anyone else, would have been a pick 6. For Noah, he takes it out to the 35. He's a great kid, and he makes plays for us. He's quickly developing into a leader, and I'm so proud of his development because like last year he was a backup on JV. And now he's emerging into this role. You see the stats. He's averaging 30 some odd yards per reception, and he's averaging all these tackles as a corner. Like he's having a great year. Like what were we looking at last year? So.
How about you said he's got your 1 pick. How much do you guys put an emphasis on that? Is it like the Chicago Bears with the hits principle, or are you turnovers? Yeah. Is that a big thing?
I've seen it go both ways. I personally don't put a huge emphasis on it. I'm really big from the Nick Saban philosophy of just doing your job, and like the Patriots as well, doing your job. So basically, what we try to explain to them is at any point in time, the score does not matter. The down and distance doesn't necessarily matter. Like it's what is your job on this one play, So if my job is to go block this D tackle here to my left, that's the only thing that matters to me. And same thing if I'm playing linebacker, if my job is to fill the A gap when it opens, okay. As soon as the A gap opens, I'm going to fill and I'm going to hit it as hard as I absolutely can. And if the ball pops out, the ball pops out. Like that's what my job is. So that's kind of the thing we focus on with that.
Got another defender that I didn't even see him make the roster, but boy, Martinez.
Kevin Martinez,
Jr., 17 total tackles on the season.
That was
already.
In one game.
That was in one game.
He didn't play week 1. He didn't have enough practices.
Wow.
Kevin Martinez is a specimen of a human being. He is the strongest kid on the team. I know he doesn't listen to this, so I don't have any issue saying it. I never want him to hear me say that because that's too much of a compliment for him. No, he's a great kid. He has tremendous work ethic, and he's usually played a skill position most of his life. But finally, he's gotten so strong and he's so athletic. We're like, let's try you out at DN. We had so much success with Eric Minnick last year playing DN. He's just a shorter version of Eric. Let's put him at DN and see what happens. And then he turns around and has 5 sacks and 17 tackles. I mean, he's setting an edge, and teams are trying to bubble out and run around him, and he's just running them down from behind. Like, I'll take that. So he had a great. We're like, you stay here now. This is where you play.
Nice add-on for
absolutely,
game 2, boy.
Absolutely, yeah. So him and Gabe Sanders each had huge games for us. They did a great job. I was very, very proud of how they handled that change, going from linebackers and corners and stuff like that to now playing DN. But it's a testament to the effort they've put in the weight room to get stronger for their body to be able to handle playing a physical position like D-line.
Looking forward to Friday night, I assume?
I'm always looking forward to Friday nights. Friday night's my favorite time because it's when I actually get to do my job, which is just coach. I spend so much time problem solving from Saturday to Thursday, Friday night from 7 to whenever the game is. That's when I actually get to do my job, a fun part of my job. So,
what's your staff's procedure after the game? Would you guys get together and
after the game? So in a perfect world, I would like to spend more time as a coaching staff. I would like to. That's my personal go out and get dinner or something like that. Go maybe visit Bob and Connie. I don't know. That's a great establishment. I don't know if I'm allowed to
Definitely.
say that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that in here. Anyways, but it's like I also understand that they have families, too, and I absolutely want them to go spend time with their families. And like Coach Dunfin, his wife's home with a newborn. I absolutely want him to go home, stuff like that. Coach Lucy goes and he does stuff with his family on the weekends. I want him to go home and spend some time, which I know he doesn't sleep, so it is what it is. But it's just stuff like that. You want your guys to go spend time with their family because they spend so much time with you. They deserve to go spend time with their family. So,
all right, Jake. we'll let you go. We'll be there Friday night,
All right,
so you
it's
can
perfect time. The sun's starting to come out.
tell all the Tri-County fans that can't make it to tune in or watch it afterwards when they get home.
Absolutely.
And it'll be on
Thanks for having me.
thekage.com. Jake West has been our guest.
Thanks, Jake.
And back with more of the Coach's Cage after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
Bill K back with you on 3kgthecage.com. Make sure you check us out on our website or on our Facebook pages. And you can watch this Coach's Show anytime live or after it's over with, too. So we encourage everyone to tune in to hear your favorite coaches' comments. And one of our favorites is Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans. Mark, another win for the Trojans. Congratulations. Tell us about that, who you played, score, and take us through the game a little bit.
Thank you. We played Lake Station on Friday night at home. It was a nice night. It was cooler than what it was all week last week, so that was a pleasant evening. Yes.
Some real heaters.
Humidity dropped and everything, so it was nice out. So we were able to start and get the game going, and we were able to get a lot of guys in and get some reps, so that was really nice to see as well. So we started the game on offense. We had a great kick return that set us up. Then we had our first play of the game was a 20-something yard run. We get inside the 5, and then we fumble the next play. And then 2 plays later, we make them fumble. And then we get the ball at the 2, and then we go in and score. So we're up early, 6-0. And then from that point, it just continued. Defense went back out there, got a 3-and-out. We had a nice punt return and got set up for a really good field position again. had another short field. We're able to get in and make it 14-0 at that point. And then we blocked a punt in there, and we're able to get another score. Then we turn over the ball again, but the defense kept playing really well. So we're up 22-0 after the block punt because we ran it back. Blocked it inside the 10, and Christian Hughes recovered it and took it in. So we're up 22-0. We had another turnover on offense, but then defense again did a great job. We got the ball back again and scored before the end of the first quarter. So we're up 30-0 at the end of the first quarter. And things were going really well for us. Other than the 2 turnovers, I mean, defense was playing really well. Offense, outside of those 2 turnovers, was doing a nice job. We were making our blocks and getting on things that we needed to. And then the second quarter was a lot the same. Defense played really well throughout the entire first half. I think when we counted it up, I think we held them to negative 13 yards in the first half, so defense played great. Offensively, second quarter, a lot of the same things. We were able to move the ball really well, and we put up another 22 points on them in the second quarter. So it was 52-0 at halftime.
So you had the running clock.
Had the running clock in the second half. We had a lot of guys get reps then in the second half. There was pretty much the entire second half was our freshman and sophomore kids out there, and they were playing and doing a lot of good things. And to start with, on defense, we kicked off to them in the third quarter. Our defense, they played well. They forced them to 3 and out. We get the ball, and we do one of our little jet passes to one of our freshmen, Caden Gutwine. He took it 60-something yards down the sideline, but got caught at the 8-yard line. And then that drive, we ended up not scoring. We got pushed back on the next 4 plays there. But it was nice to see because we got out there and everyone was out there getting on the edge, getting their blocks and leading them downfield. So that was a nice thing to see. But unfortunately, we just didn't get in the end zone there. And then it was a little bit of back and forth. And then we got into the fourth quarter and we were able to score early. Caden Gutwine took it in on the same play. This time it was from about 20 yards out, took it in and scored. So we're up 58-0 at that point. We kick off and they're pinned kind of deep. And then they had a bad snap that made it even deeper, and they were at the 5-yard line, and we allowed them. We had some miscues on defense, and some bad tackling, but they ended up taking it 95 yards then for the scores. That made it 58-8 at that point. And then on our next possession, we were deep on our own end off of penalties on the kickoff return, so we ended up they got a safety on us at the end, so that's how the score ended up being 58-10. So again, on the night, there were some things that we need to improve, like you have in every game. But overall, it was a great night. Everyone got to play. Everyone got in, and we got to see what Friday Night Lights is all about and how that feels. Because a lot of those freshmen, I mean, they played in 8th grade. We didn't get a lot of them in week 1 against Caston. So for them to see the difference between what is 8th grade like to what is varsity football like, and so that was really nice to be able to get them that experience. And as far as like wear and tear on any of our guys, the most that anybody carried the ball on Friday was 4 times. So we had 10 different guys carry it. 4 was the most anybody had of any touches, whether it was running or receiving. So as far as wear and tear, everyone's good. So stat wise, if you look at it, like our leading rusher had 34 yards. I mean, that was it. But that's all we like because we had so many different guys touch it. Like we didn't really have a whole lot of just one guy just pounding it there. And then same thing with receiving. Caden ended up leading us because he had that one that was almost a 60-yard run after he caught that little jet pass. So he ended up with 68 yards on the night and had it 4 times. So that was just a nice overall to see those guys step up and be able to play and what they were able to do on Friday night football. So again, just great overall team effort. Defense played great. Dre Villarreal led us again in tackling. Christian Hughes did a really nice job. Had that picked up the block punt, ran it in. Jacob Plarski blocked it. So, I mean, all of our guys are doing what they're supposed to, and that was really nice to see.
It's got to be gratifying, Mark, as coach, to see those young guys come through, not be too wide-eyed in their opener, and
well,
do some good things.
I think they were a little bit, but we do get a lot of them in on special teams, so they are getting some. But it's going out there to run our stuff, and that's really the big thing because during our preseason camp there when we start August, like everyone gets quite a bit of reps, and then once we start getting into the season, when we get into week 1 and week 2, like it's like the starters are ones getting a lot of those reps, and then the other guys they're running scout. So a lot of them don't run our stuff all that much then throughout the rest of the year. So getting them in on Friday night when we're hopefully up is when we like to get them in instead of being down. But it was nice to see them go out there and they ran our stuff and were able to do it, execute it fairly well. I mean, there were some miscues in there, but I mean, you're going to have that.
Talking about your stuff, I mean, the people that don't really know or follow West Central football, let's look at those stats. Your average gains per contest, 192 yards through the air and just 119 on the ground. So a lot of those, those passes are really kind of set up as runs also.
Yeah. A lot of that is, and that's with our little jet play that we run, and but we run it as a pass, so that if we do drop it, then it's incomplete, and we don't have to worry about it being a fumble. So there is a kind of a rhyme and reason as to why we do it. And looking at those stats, like that's completely backwards of what we're normally is. It's usually a lot of run and not a whole lot of pass. So we've got to improve our running a little bit. But I mean, looking at the average there, it's at 4.8 a carry. So
not too shabby.
That's not bad. So we'll take that. And then as far as our passing is concerned, like we're on the season 23 out of 24 there. So that's
who dropped one.
It was in this last game. It went off of one of our wings' hands. He had it right there and just dropped it. So
Connor Marlatt really is a blessing to have a experienced quarterback like that, isn't he?
Yes.
How's he been doing through 2 games?
Been doing great. Been doing the things we ask of him and making his reads. And like so far this year, he's only got 12 carries so far. He just hasn't had to be doing a whole bunch for us yet. And he can. He can. And he's. There's sometimes like, hey, just let me run. I'm like, well, you don't need to. Like just let it go. Let it come to you, and then do it if you need to. But like on Friday, I think he had 4 carries. So could he have had a lot more? Sure, but there wasn't any reason trying to wear him out in that game when we were comfortably ahead and we can get everyone else involved. And then and one of the things we told our kids is the goals we have this year. Friday night wasn't part of them. Like we felt pretty good going in the game that we were going to be able to do a lot of good things. So we told the kids all week that the game plan is you younger guys, you're playing the second half, and that's what we're able to do because our older guys are like, well, we want to play. Like, well, again, that's our goals are later in the year. Our goals are Winnemac. Our goals are conference. Those things we need you then. We don't need you getting a bump and a hit here that isn't going to do any difference in the outcome of the game. So I think they understood it, and I think they all realized that their time where they're going to get a lot of carries, it's coming up. Like we're starting our conference season this next week, going to Tri-County, so conference slate's up, so it's time to get after it.
Let's talk about that game then.
You guys probably a big favorite, but that series in the last 35 years is one game difference. Tri-County, 17 wins to 16 for you guys.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that it's been a pretty even back-and-forth series. And over the last 10 years, it's been fairly even as well. There's been some runs by each of us here and there, and but one of the, it's time for conference, and that's one of the things we told the kids this week is our goals start now. And one of our goals is to win conference again. And I think we've got the guys that can do it. We've got the experience up there up front and in the backfield of a lot of guys that have played football for a long time for us that they've got the great opportunity to be the first team in West Central history that's gone back-to-back conference championships in football. So
you better know where Jonathan Pearson is.
Yes. Tri-County's got some good guys, and that's what we've been telling them this week is that they're better than what we've played against so far. So we got to be ready to go. They've got a quarterback that's got a lot of experience. They've got a running back that runs hard. He's looks like he's pretty well built and put together. They've got some big linemen. Their linemen up front, they're massive. Looking at them, like last week, Lake Station, they had some big linemen, but Tri-County's got some really big ones, and we just don't have that. We don't have that luxury. So we got to make sure we're doing what we can and making sure we're doing our responsibilities and hitting our gaps like we need to. Otherwise, those guys are going to going to make some holes for those running backs. So
any other keys you see?
We got to make sure we know where those guys are at. We got to follow our keys, and when they pull, we got to be following that puller because they do that every once in a while. And then with their quarterback, we got to make sure we wrap him up if we get a chance, because if we don't, if he gets out and scrambling, he can throw on the run, he can just take off and run. So we got to make sure we're doing everything we are capable of, and because it's going to be a tough night. We told them Monday it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and we better be ready to go play.
Is there any worries at this point of the season, kids looking ahead to Week 9 against North White?
I don't think so. And that's one of the things that last year, once we got kind of things rolling, people were like, well, are you guys looking at this game? Like, well, no, because we haven't done anything yet. And that's one of the things we try to get across to the kids is, we won conference last year. But that was last year. This isn't this year. We haven't done anything yet. So every week is a new opportunity that we've got to go out and prove ourselves, because it's, again, nobody's done anything yet this year. Nobody's won anything. Right now, North White's, they're the first number one in conference right now because they're the only ones that have won in conference. They played Frontier last week, so they're first place in conference. So we're chasing them. So we got to make sure that every week we're doing what we need to be doing to try to keep up with them. And this week is playing Tri-County, so we got to make sure we're ready for it. Because we aren't, then Tri-County, I mean, they're more than capable. They put up, almost 40 points, was it last week, or is it a little bit over 40? Right at 40, right?
Last week they
46.
46, yeah.
46,
So 46 points. I mean, they're capable of putting up points. Week 1 they had 16, then week 2 46, so they can put them up. So we got to make sure that defensively we're ready. We got to play sound football, and then offensively we got to make sure that we're taking care of the football and doing things that we need to be able to move it.
I was going to say, do turnovers worry you so far this year?
We've had 3 in the last 2 weeks, which is definitely more than I would like. It's one of them. The week 1 was just that kid made a great hit. His helmet went right on the ball and it popped out. The first turnover of last Friday was kind of the same way, just great spot where the helmet was and popped the ball out. The second one, it can be corrected. Our wing wasn't running fast enough going around on the pitch, and he just didn't catch it. So that one can be corrected. The other two were just those were good defensive plays. So we just got to make sure that we take care of the ball, make our reads the correct way, and make sure we're holding on tight when we make those reads and make the pitches. So, 3 is too much, but I think we'll be okay as we go through, because one of the things we do talk about every week is that football is the most important thing out there. It's the most valuable item on that field, so we better make sure we protect it.
Well, Mark, to all the Trojan fans, you can watch the game on 3KG, thekage.com, and we'll be over there Friday night, and good luck, all right?
All right, that sounds great. I hope it's a great night of football. It should be, temperature-wise, pretty good out there, so hopefully we got a great atmosphere for some for Midwest Conference football.
All right. Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage Show, weekly Wednesday nights live from Arnie's Pizzeria in Rensselaer. Bill K, Bob Kurtz, Scotty Miller here with you tonight, and joined now by Brad Beavis, South Newton coach. Got off to a great start this year with a big whitewash 46-0 victory at home against Lake Station, but then not so successful on the road. Probably a real tough Covington squad. Lost 55-60. What was the big difference in those games?
Covington's a little more physical than what Lake Station was the week before. We didn't execute the best, but, Covington played well, and we just didn't kind of play up to our potential. Ended up being a 22-8 halftime. We had an opportunity at the end of the half to go down and score. We drove the ball down, threw an interception inside of our 30. We actually threw an interception back to us. We got the ball back about a minute and a half, minute 20, and just couldn't really move the ball much. I don't think we got another first down there. I think we went four and out, and they took a knee. But we got the ball to start the second half and drove the ball down the field again and just kind of fell apart. Probably inside of our 40. So we're moving the ball a little bit, and we just couldn't make that step over the hump. And Covington, executed. And I thought that at times I wouldn't say we gave up, but we kind of just stopped executing, stopped the plays, and they just had some big runs on some things they shouldn't have had. And hats off to Covington. They did what they needed to do, but we could play much better than that score represented.
What was stopping you? Was it like mistakes or penalties, turnovers, or was it just
flat out execution? It might be Evan, throwing the ball just a little bit high, not crazy, but receivers maybe not running the route to the right landmark, things like that. Line not executing the blocks right, not communicating up front. It was just kind of those. It wasn't anything big. It wasn't anything that just we imploded. It was just a lot of little things that we, for instance, defensively, we had them on the first series. We had them at 3rd and 6, I think, 3rd and 5, and outside linebacker comes up. It should have been a 1-yard gain. Takes us to bad angle. Pops out around him, gets the first down. And continues. They end up scoring on that drive. So just a lot of little things. I think the heat played a part in it. I think as things start going bad, you start to have that emotional kind of breakdown. Then with the heat being there, Covington kind of getting through that with them executing fairly well and not having their way with us because, like I said, we played okay. But they just had enough success where they were kind of able to fight through that. No things kind of all collided to us. Just I think in the second half, just being exhausted emotionally, physically, and kind of let the floodgates open a little bit. But just kind of a humbling experience. It's just one game. It's a non-conference game, so your ultimate goal is always, I think, to win some conference. That should be part of any team's goals, and that's still part of ours, and that's not affected. So another week.
So what did you learn from this game, or what did you tell your team afterwards?
Honestly, I just told them I was disappointed in some of the effort. I thought that we didn't quit individually, but as a team, we kind of just let down. We kind of gave up some things, whenever we shouldn't have. We gave up some blocks, gave up on some defensive alignment type things, and we just can't have that. And I said, I just hope this humbles you guys a little bit, and we'll get back to work next week and just get better. So we've moved some parts around, because we're still got some inexperienced guys playing, so we're trying to find the right fit for everybody. So we've kind of moved a couple pieces around, got a couple kids that'll be eligible, type thing. So we're kind of adding pieces as we go here, and it's just a learning experience. As we got a nice solid group of kids that have experience and have played, but we also got guys that need to contribute that are either young and haven't played or just haven't played. So we're still in that we're trying to figure each other out, trying to figure out how to best gel as a team.
So do you sit with the team to break down film or no?
Yeah. So we go Mondays is our big film day. So we go out, do our conditioning and do our walkthrough stuff. Then we come in and we go through film with them. There'll be a few kids individually we'll go through or send clips to, throughout the week and our weekend and stuff like that. But we just sit down and my defensive coordinator, Jason Krug, will have anywhere from 10 to 15 clips that he'll send, and we just go through like, hey, these are big things, and this person, watch yourself, or you two guys, here's what happened on this play, type thing. And then same thing with my offensive coordinator, Blaine Durham. He'll have his 10 to 12 plays, and same thing. Here, we can't have this, or this is how you correct this, and we'll put some good stuff on there too. It's not always negative. It's just
right.
When you play like we played Friday, it's going to be a lot of criticism. It's going to be a lot of things. If you have a tighter game, it's going to be like, hey, this is how we want to see this play ran, and then over here is some more criticism. So we get about 30 plays, I would say, and then we'll sprinkle in some special teams stuff here and there as we see fit to do that. But that's about it. I think you got to keep it nice and short, keep it to the point. But our kids watch film. I mean, some of our kids will watch anywhere from total watching film anywhere from 45 to an hour and 20 minutes of film. And that's a lot of film whenever each clip's 20 seconds. So they'll go through and they'll watch film. That's not every kid. That's probably your 3 or 4 top film watchers, and those are the kids you want to see do that. And then we also have them they have to give us scouting reports. So we have them watch it. They have to give us 2 or 3 things about their position. So
they can watch it home, right?
So so they can watch on their device. They try to watch it during my class, which is a no-go. I don't think that looks very good, but they try. I'll give them that. But yeah, they can watch it pretty much anywhere. It's on their mobile device. It's on their computer. So the access to film is abundant for them, so they can pretty much watch anytime they want.
Focus and practice this week? What are you working on?
Just getting better. We're facing a team this coming week that we don't know a lot about. We knew they kind of ran a similar offense, similar defense, so we've basically been running against ourselves. So our backups have got a lot of extra reps, some of them out of position, but they've been getting a lot of extra reps, and we're just running our offense and our defense and just trying to become just a little more proficient in what we do and just a little more quick at what we do. But I don't think our concepts aren't broke. Like I said, I think we just got to execute a little better on Friday night than what we did last Friday.
Tell us about the opponent.
We got the Fisher Bunnies.
Fisher in Illinois.
Bunnies?
Fisher, Illinois, yep. Fisher Bunnies.
Oh, my God. Well, I want to ask you how – now this was like a late change-up because Traders Point was on your roster, on your schedule. They don't have enough kids.
Right.
How do you go about getting an opponent to fill in like at the last minute?
You get on the internet and you see who needs an open.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
So there's actually, you can get on there. Like Indiana has the same thing. We have open dates on our Coaches Association site, and then there's some other sites that have some things on there for us. Like John Harrell does a great job, and he'll have some posted openings. And
sure,
they have another site in Illinois that will have it open. So they have their Coaches Association and their just Athletic Association. So we just get on there and just kind of match up the weeks and see who you got. And like, nope, they're a 5A. We're not playing them type thing. And Fisher just happened to have an opening, and we contacted them. I think within a week we pretty much had an agreement to play. So
are they the same size school as you?
They're a little bit smaller. So they're about 180, 190, I think. And we're sitting at 230, 240. So a little bit smaller. They've struggled the last few years. They're kind of in a similar position to what we were about 4 years ago. It's just one of those. They have an opening, so we just picked them up and just go play them.
How do they determine who's home and who's away?
That's the AD thing. They figure that out. Typically, it's who has an already scheduled home game because you already have officials. So that's typically – so if one's got a road game, one's got a home game, typically you go to whoever had it scheduled.
And that's the way it was this week?
I think that's the way it was this week. Yeah, we were supposed to go down to Traders Point. So.
Okay.
But if you both have home or both have away, then I guess you have a little bit of joggling. But so we're just going there. It's about an hour and 40 minutes away on the bus, so it's not too bad of a trip.
You're used to going to Illinois to play games.
We used to go to Illinois all the time, so it's fine. There's a good road play, good places to eat on the way, and our staff likes to eat, so
No.
It's hard to believe, I know, but we do. We know some spots, so we'll hit up our favorite spot in Illinois on the way there and have a nice little pregame meal for ourselves.
All right. Well, what are going to be the keys Friday night for you?
Just kind of getting back on track, just getting our confidence back. Like I said, our kids, I think, got humbled a little bit, and so now we got to build them back up. They kind of got knocked down, so now we got to do the job of, hey, you're not as bad as you think you are. You just got to execute a little better, and you got to build that back up. And this should be a pretty good week. Like I said, it's a team that's similar to us. They just went over and took a pretty good beating themselves by a predominantly good, or historically good team over in Western Illinois, because they traveled 3 hours last week to go play. So, their kids are going to be down too a little bit, so it's just time for us to play fast and just kind of execute our stuff, and hopefully we get some kids in some different positions this week that makes them a little more successful, makes us more successful, and we kind of just grow, and next week we start conference play. So this is kind of our last warm-up before conference play, and just like the college is what you do, right? You play 3 or 4 games non-conference and you gear up. So
that's right.
We're modeling that, I guess.
How much you throwing the ball this year?
We got some good receivers. We try to stay right around 50-50, but it just depends on what the defense gives us. If they're going to give us a light box, we're going to run with Evan and Lucas in the backfield with Van Wienen, lead blocking. If we think we got some good one-on-ones outside with Sean Mikasa or Chase Stillbauer, we're going through there. Marshall Kuntz has actually showed up the last 2 weeks. He played last year. He's got 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown each week. So, he's starting to do those, so I can't leave his name out because he's scored some touchdowns the last couple of weeks. So we got some guys that can catch the ball, and Evan can deliver it. So it just kind of depends on those factors. We threw a lot of screens this past week because Covington was so aggressive. We executed them good sometimes, bad sometimes, but so we'll get the ball to Van Wienen on some screens there. So we just kind of take not necessarily what the defense gives us, but what we think that we can exploit or where we have an advantage somewhere. That's what we're going to do. So we'll see kind of coverage-wise where they're at. Like I said, we just got film on them, so we're still kind of breaking that down now, kind of dictate our game calling plan. But we just kind of attack where they ain't, right? That's kind of what you do in baseball. You just hit where they ain't, and that's what we do in football. Run it where they ain't dividing you.
Anything else?
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you a couple of weeks down the road when you travel to Tri-County for that annual matchup. Boy, we'll be there.
24, huh?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Got the helmet on at stake, and so I think we're just growing every week. I think we're going to be an explosive team still. Last week we didn't put up as many points, but we had our opportunities. We drove the ball. We got the ball down there. We just had some glitches. So I think as the season goes on, we're going to have that stuff polished, and we're going to put some points up. And our defense is aggressive, and obviously they can shut some people out. So I think we'll be a fun team to watch. We just got to kind of polish some things up and get them going.
We'll look forward to talking with you next week, and you'll be 2-1.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Step on them bunnies.
It's always better coming in here after a win. I can tell you that.
All right, Brad. Thanks for coming over. Good luck, all right?
Yep, thanks.
Brad Beavis from the South Newton Rebels, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning. Family owned since 1991.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage program on 3kgthecage.com. Just go to our website to listen or to watch tonight's broadcast, or we'll always have our broadcast, our game coaches and games are archived on 3kgthecage.com. So if you can't catch us live, make sure you watch it at your convenience. We'll go home, watch the coach's show before you go to bed. You can do that.
Middle of the night.
Can't sleep. Turn on these guys.
There you go.
They're not going to put you to sleep. They'll make you stay awake more. Probably. Chris Meeks now has joined us now. First of all, nice jersey there. Nice sweatshirt.
Well, the Cubs are on a roll, Bob.
Yes, they are.
And I tried telling everybody at the beginning of the year they would win the World Series, and now people are starting to see it.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's starting to figure it out now. And Milwaukee had won 9 games coming into that series.
Yeah.
Cubs took 2 out of 3. So I think people are seeing the Cubs are for real.
For real. Well, the Bombers are for real this year, off to a 2-0 start. You beat North Newton last week handily. So tell us about the game.
Yeah. First of all, it was a tough week from the standpoint weather, and not just us, but everybody was facing it. So we had a normal practice Monday. I think we all saw the hot weather coming in, so we were all figuring that it was going to be a tough week. Tuesday, we got outside, had a modified practice. Wednesday, Thursday, never got outside at all.
Really?
And it's tough. I mean, unless you have a field house. We don't have a field house. So we're trying to do things in the gym and film study and things like that. So,
and I think next week's going to be the same way.
I heard. Yeah, it's supposed to be warm, but not the humidity.
But in the 90s, though.
It'll be in the 90s, yeah. But so going into Friday night's game, it just wasn't the same feel. Normally you start Monday and Tuesday and just keep building momentum, and by the time you get to Friday, you just feel good and have a good rhythm, good flow, and we didn't have that. So one of the things we tried to do is to go out and have a modified 45-minute practice over there at their place before the game, and it suited its purpose. It knocked some rust off, but still wasn't the same. So when you look and watch the film and analyze and break things down and get overly critical and so on, we did good, but not at the level that we need to. I felt like we never really got out of first gear. We ran plays effectively, but we want to keep getting better each week. So I'm not sure we took that step from week 1 to week 2. So that's what we're looking for this week. Normally that improvement we always talk about from week 1 to week 2, we hope to see it this week from week 2 to week 3, and really amp it up, pick up the speed of the game. And we've got a very tough opponent, Hoosier Conference team, that we're playing against. So we'll need to do that. But the game itself, we got off to a quick start. Offensively, we got the ball rolling pretty good. Diego Hernandez-Reyes had 9 carries for 150 yards in a very limited role. He had 4 touchdowns. Really ran hard, broke tackles. Aaron Barco from the wing position had 4 carries for 90 yards, also had 2 catches for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that's all they carried. I mean, they only touched the ball between the 2 of them 13 times. That's it. Carter Ogborn, he's our backup running back. He carried for 40 yards and a touchdown. And then Cohen Westfall got his second ever start, and he passed for 75 yards and a touchdown. So overall, we were efficient. A lot of young kids. I think we had like 12 or 13 different kids touch the ball during the course of the game. From about halfway through the second quarter on, we had our younger kids running the ball, and I thought they ran well. I thought they played well. Freshman tight end Landon Mush, he caught a 2-point conversion for us, and he keeps improving at the tight end position. Like I said, several young kids did very nice for us during the course of the game. And then defensively, Ryan Kellner was a young man that, we talked about a little bit in June, but we weren't really figuring him on being our, on the defensive side. We knew he was going to be an offensive lineman, returning starter on offense. And he just keeps getting better and better at the defensive end position. He had 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. Caden Doyle had 5 tackles from his linebacker position. And then Landon Mush, our freshman corner, had an interception. And then our soccer kicker, football kicker on Friday nights, soccer 6 days of the week. He plays soccer. He was 6 for 6 on PATs and also kicked a 33-yard field goal. So like I said, a lot of positives, a lot of things that we need to clean up on. But we've had this week, great practice week, and we look forward to big things come Friday night.
Can you tell us, in case our listeners and viewers don't know, the rule for quarters, or who can play how much, how long? Because a lot of people say, why don't you JV in there in the second quarter or something? What's the rules there?
They actually, to the IHSA credit, they changed the rule last year to where we could get those kids in earlier. So if you get a game that let's say halftime, it's at 35 points, you go to a running clock. Used to be you had to wait till the fourth quarter because you still got a JV game scheduled, okay? So kids can only have so many quarters. But the IHSA changed that so that those quarters don't count against those JV kids now. So you can get them in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now you can get them in that third quarter.
So there's no rule or anything.
Carte blanche?
Well, once, again, that 35-point rule starts at halftime. The running clock starts at halftime.
Oh, that matters.
Yeah. So from the halftime on, all right, if you're at that running clock, those quarters do not count against those kids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
that does make sense.
Smart move. IHSA does a lot of very, very good things, and sometimes it might take a little time to figure out. And I think the running clock ended up being a great thing. Now they figured out we needed to add some quarters to those younger kids so we can get them in there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the focus on practice this week, what are you trying to improve, get better on?
Yeah. Now we get into our Hoosier Conference grind. And even though this is a non-conference game, it's still a Hoosier Conference opponent, Western. So Western's on the East Division side, and they're a 4A school, usually a powerhouse, just a tremendous football school. They're big, they're physical. So it's important that we're fundamentally sound. Our stress, what we're stressing to the kids this week is low pad levels. Because you get up high on these big guys and, get in their wheelhouse, they're going to move you. But if we can stay low, we can do things ourselves at the line of scrimmage. So working on low pad levels, quickness of the game, hitting the holes, running routes correctly, timing things up, just all the things that we would normally do from week 1 to week 2 just to polish things up. And then defensively, did a lot on our tackling circuit. Again, we don't go live on players in practice. Everything we do is on pads and bags and stuff like that, and we did a lot of that this week. So, we're excited to see if we could see some big improvement this week against a very quality Western team.
Now, this shows that you haven't played Western since 2020. Is that right?
That is correct.
That was a shootout, that game. You lost to them 49-42.
I remember that game well.
Yes.
Expect
that kind of game again?
I actually watched Coach Zacher age probably 15 years right in front of my eyes. But it was a fun game. It was a shootout. They had great athletes. They have Kokomo athletes, and they have some tremendous athletes.
Is that where that is, Kokomo?
They're right on the edge of Kokomo.
Right on the edge, okay.
Country School of Kokomo. But, like I said, quality program, always has been a quality program, and again, we love playing in the Hoosier Conference because of teams like Western. So it'll be a terrific challenge, one that I think we're up to, and I'm looking forward to seeing how our kids do in this game.
Let's give a report on the younger Bombers, who played when and where and how'd they do.
Yeah, our 6th, 7th, and 8th, and they're kind of split squads. So our 8th grade consists of 7th and 8th, and our 7th grade consists of 6th and 7th. They played well. I got an opportunity to go out and watch them. They played Southwestern out of Lafayette, feeds into McCutcheon, and we lost both games. But, again, I'd rather see us play great competition and be competitive than, blow a team out or whatever. So, we're proud of the kids. They're getting better and better. They have a doubleheader tomorrow night at Twin Lakes, so we're looking forward to that. And then our JV team had the week off, but got to play in that varsity game. So from about the 2.5, or I should say at the 1.5 quarter mark, we started getting a lot of those kids in there. So they played 2.5 quarters basically of football Friday night and really did a tremendous job. And then our flag football will start September, what's the Sunday after Labor Day weekend. So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. And we've got about 80 kids signed up for that.
So what's your goal for the younger levels? What do you want them to accomplish?
Okay, so I think our coaches do a tremendous job of coaching them. Our middle school staff, they'll take kids that have never played tackle football with 6th graders, making that transition from flag football to tackle football. So a lot of fundamentals, teaching them how to tackle and doing things right, how to use the pads, keep the head out of the tackle and so on, and to be competitive. We want our kids being competitive. And, it doesn't really matter if you go 8-0 or 9-0 in middle school. All right, teach the kids the fundamentals, get them loving the sport and make them enthusiastic about it. And then when they get in high school and those bodies start to grow, and you guys know, a lot of kids grow faster than others at middle school and so on. For some reason, Rensselaer in the water, we don't grow very fast at middle school. We're always smaller than everybody else. But when they get in high school, they end up being pretty darn good football players. And like I said, our middle school does a tremendous job doing that. And then the flag football is coached by our high school kids, and they do a great job with that.
How do you assess your young quarterbacks' play this year so far? It's got to be really got to feel pretty good about him, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's off to a good start. The nice thing about him is he's coachable. He learns. He asks questions. We watched film last night. We sat down and watched film for 45 minutes of Western, and he's asking questions about coverages and what we think that they might do and adjustments and so on. So as long as a young man is willing to learn and absorbs the knowledge that we're trying to give him, which Coach Nallen runs our offense now and does a tremendous job of working one-on-one with him and our other quarterback, Beck Drone. So he's doing good. Will he make mistakes? Absolutely. But hopefully we have it embedded in his head that you will make mistakes. That's life. We all make mistakes. But we overcome it. We put it past, and let's move on to the next play. And so far he's played pretty darn good for us.
And your running back, you always have a running back by committee, and you got some guys really scoring some points here through 2 games. How many touchdowns did you say? Who had 4?
Diego Hernandez-Reyes.
Had 4.
Yeah.
How many does he have in a year?
I honestly don't know. He's got several. But, no, I think we're dynamic on offense. I think we have the ability to run the football effectively. If teams want to come up and attack the line of scrimmage and play no safeties against us and put 10, 11 guys in the box, that's fine because I think we have the ability to throw the ball down the field. Our play action, I think, has been good so far. We really worked hard on that in June and July. But to have a good play-action passing game, you got to have a good running game. And like you said, so far our running game has been good, which has opened things in the passing game. So hopefully that continues.
Chris, we'll let you go. Or you?
I just want
one more.
Defensively, how's your team? What do you assess so far? 2 games.
It's interesting because defensively, going into the season, Logan Metzger was going to be a middle linebacker for us. He's a sophomore, 210 pounds, fullback, linebacker, had a tremendous June and July, and we were really looking forward to him playing. And he got a little dinged up, did not play game 1, did not play game 2. He will be back this week. So a small school like us, it affects us several positions. So now we're playing guys that normally wouldn't play different positions. It's like, for instance, last week, Peyton Joseph, we had to take him from defensive line and move him back to linebacker. He's a pretty good defensive lineman. He's quick off the ball and so on. He'll be back to the defensive line position. Logan moves back into inside linebacker. Caden Doyle had to play inside linebacker. He's our outside linebacker. He moves back to – so it affects us in like five, 6 positions.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but getting back to your question, defensively, Coach Zachary will tell you lots of room for improvement. We're making steps forward. You guys saw us early on in the KV game where they had a wide open guy down the field. We've worked hard on that. So, I think we've improved a lot, and there's more improvement there. And, we'll be put to the test come Friday night against a very good Western team.
Chris, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Good luck Friday night. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Chris Meeks from the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
To Kage Valley.
We were just up there, Bill.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
We were just up there.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
I got a shorter drive.
Welcome back to Arnie's Pizza, 3kg.com, the weekly pregame coaches show, the Coach's Cage show. Joining us now, Kankakee Valley coach Kirk Kennedy, coming off a nice win. You guys,
because we were there.
Got down a little bit.
Good luck charms.
Yeah.
Man, I want to compliment you guys at KV. You guys do it right. Your facilities are top notch. You guys, from John Gray all the way down to, what you guys do on the field. I just think it's going to KV for a game it's a pleasure.
Well, when you're talking about facilities and just game atmosphere, that's the administration. And that one thing that I learned early in the process of coming to KV, last year was just the quality of people that they have, from the superintendent on down, the principals, Mr. Street, Ryan Myers, John Gray. I've known John for about 30 years. He's an old Lowell guy, and he's been at KV obviously longer than he was at Lowell. But I've known him for a long time, and just the quality individual that he is. But yeah, it's first class. First class facilities. They've made a commitment. With the weight room and with the new stadium, the new facility, and
I haven't seen it. The weight room is
it's fairly new. I mean, it's not brand new, but it's not as new as the stadium. But it's nice. It's we can get done what we need to get done in there. So
big enough.
I think so. Now it can accommodate a lot of different teams at the same time, but it's big enough. If you just schedule it correctly and get your teams in and out of there. But we don't have any excuses facility wise. So the rest of it's up to us, and we like that. So it's top notch place, top notch facility, and it just kind of I'm not talking about myself here. I'm talking about the administration, the quality individuals, top down.
That. But now the schedule gets real tough, as usual. But it seems like it's earlier this year. Did Andrian, were they always week 3?
No, we had with Hanover, Hanover joining the conference, right. Yep. And we also we used to play both North Newton and South Bend, Washington.
Okay.
In these first few games, and with Hanover coming into the conference, and also we're picking up Culver Academies. So our schedule did get a lot tougher, real quick, and but you know what?
Before.
Well, I mean, if you want to, play with the big boys, you got to beat the big boys. So it's the conference we're in, and it's a very competitive conference, and I'm used to the conference before, being at Lowell, and I honestly feel, and I still feel this way, that our conference champion is in a position to be a state champion, whoever that may be. Maybe if Munster would win a state title, it'd be a little tougher on them because they're 5A.
Right.
But us 4A and 3A guys, and Adrian being 2A, our conference champion has a legitimate shot at a state title every year, because that just kind of tells you the level that the program is.
Well, you struggled the first half against Wheeler last week. Trailed 14-12.
Right.
14-12 at the half.
The second half was a different story for you guys.
Well, the thing that bothers me, and this is a repeating message that we send to the kids, and it's being received slowly but surely, is the one thing that I cannot stand. I don't care if we're getting beat 100-0. I cannot stand when the other team is more excited than we are, because to me, I mean, that's a choice. You take the field with whatever mindset you're in, but excitement. That's an important factor in a football game. Motivation, excitement, gets the adrenaline flowing. Play beyond your capabilities. Just get those juices flowing, those competitive juices. And for whatever reason, when we took the field last Friday against Wheeler, we were kind of lacking that. And Wheeler wanted to be there, and we kind of didn't. For a while, and then we kind of found our footing and kicked it into gear and took care of business. But you just you compare yourself to yourself, and you kind of. Sometimes that might seem like we're disrespecting the opponent, which we're not. It's just that we can't control the opponent. The only people we can control is ourselves. So, things we've talked about before here is like being the most excited team on the field, winning the turnover battle, the battle for hidden yardage in the kicking game. The missed tackles, we were missing some tackles. You can't do that. And chunk plays, the big plays that they were getting, and we weren't early. But, second half, thankfully, we turned the tables on them a little bit and came out and took care of business. I think it was 21-0 in the second half. But, we dug ourselves a hole early and had to battle back.
How about penalties, Kurt? It seemed like they really cost you a bunch.
Well, I mean, the penalties are always a concern, and more often than not, sometimes you get penalties, I don't know, maybe due to over-aggression or, just maybe, I don't know if trying too hard is even a concept.
Some of those pass
but some of those, it's lack of discipline.
Those pass interference calls, though, were they?
Bill didn't like the calls.
I didn't like those calls.
He didn't like them.
Well, we were getting the wrong explanation to the sideline. They were telling us early contact. Okay, so in a high school, there's different rules as far as a defensive back engaging a receiver. On TV, it's almost illegal to even touch him. But the way the high school rules read, as long as the receiver's in position to block you, and the ball's not in the air yet, you can jam him, you can engage him. Well, we weren't getting the word over that the ball's in the air. we were just getting early contact. Okay, well, that can be taken in a lot of ways. So coming out of the locker room at halftime, I asked for a more of an explanation, and that's when they included while the ball's in the air, which changed everything. Because when the ball's in the air, you can't touch them.
Sure.
But they didn't say that early, which kind of led to the misunderstanding. So, we want to play physical at the line of scrimmage. We want to, restrict the receivers get off, and we want to basically throw off, the routes and the timing and all that. And that combined with pressure on the quarterback, that's how you stop a passing game. Nobody stops a passing game just with coverage. You stop it with pressure and route and timing disruption. And we're trying to get our defensive backs to play more physical, and we did get a couple of pass interference penalties, which, if they're playing hard and hustling and focused on their job, we'll take it,
Sure.
As long as it's not every play.
Right.
But, the legal procedure penalties, the offsides, the mental errors, those are the ones we got to correct. And, we've been working hard this week to correct them, and hopefully we did. But, penalties are, costly. I think we had a holding penalty on a return, if I remember correctly. And, just when you wipe out those big returns, you could have a penalty that ends up costing like 50 yards of field position. So, we definitely have to play with more discipline. And in my opinion, that's a choice because that has to do with your concentration and just your focus on your job. So we can get better in that respect, and we're working to do so.
Who played well for you?
Well, I think again, our return game was a big factor with Lane, and we have I think a pretty effective return scheme. A few years ago when they took away the peel back blocks, remember how you used to punt returns, the kickoff returns, you'd set up a wall, and there was always some big blocks, but those are illegal now. So most everybody now returns the ball up the middle instead of blocking outside in, they block inside out, and those are still legal. So you got everybody kind of trying to thin out the coverage, and you just let your return men pick and choose their holes, and so you saw in the Rensselaer game and last week how our return games were setting up with some good field position, and that really helps your offense when you take over around midfield or even farther than that. So Lane had a good night, I thought, returning the ball.
He is so quick.
Is he? He's people have angles on him and just outruns the angles, which
doesn't take much of a.
And he just glides. A lot of people when they're sprinting, you can see the effort in their sprinting. Lane is just so smooth; he just glides. I thought Diego Arroyo. I don't know if it would be accurate to call it a breakout game, but I think he did a pretty good job. I think we had 7 different receivers that caught a pass.
Wow.
So you talk about distributing the football around and getting the ball, to the right people and getting it into the right hands, and I thought Diego had a real good game, and it's good to see that because we're going to need him, and every good game he has, you can just see his confidence building.
Some of those long passes were pretty accurate.
Yeah. Marco in that second half especially. Obviously, there's guys up front. You don't just want to talk about the skilled guys without mentioning the linemen. The guys up front are working hard, and the neat thing that we talk about with being an offensive lineman is everything that they do, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be conditioning, whether it be in practice, the abuse they take, the beating they take, everything they do, they're doing it for somebody else. That's the cool part about an offensive lineman is just the personal sacrifice that they lay down every day for their teammates, and that needs to be acknowledged. But I thought Marco ran the ball with authority in the second half especially, and especially that last run, late in the fourth quarter that took the ball down to about the 9-yard line, and then he was able to take it in from there on the next play. But he's finally he's a big boy, and Ryan finally, using his power, using his strength, running behind his pads and taking on tacklers aggressively and becoming the kind of football player that we knew all along he could be. And he's evolving into that, and he's only a junior, so that's good news. Defensively, we got a young kid, Jaden Anderson. He's a sophomore. He's really, I'm not going to say come out of nowhere because, we kind of saw him over the winter developing athletically, but he's been a pleasant surprise. He's kind of, I don't know, hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end type, coming off the edge. But yeah, he had a great week of practice this week, and we look for him to really come on strong as the season progresses. And like I said, he's only a sophomore. Gabe Kistler, tight end, defensive ends, good player for us. Eli Deerdorf, Eli has had such a great year in the weight room in the off season, developed himself into. You look at Eli, sophomore year, he was a corner. Junior year, he's a big corner. And senior year, he's a defensive end. So, just a kid like that that's been working the way he has and the impact he has on it. Also, he's a captain. A lot of good kids that we have on our team that we just need, to make physically. I mean, you're never satisfied. You're never there, but physically, I think we got some guys that we can win with. We just have to develop, that mental approach and work on the confidence and, make some good things happen against some quality teams and just start believing in ourselves.
Speaking of that, exactly, Coach, this isn't on you because you're only your second year here, but I'm looking at this series in the last 35 years. It's in favor of Andrean, 20-1.
Yeah.
How do you beat that? How do you go against that?
I guess the cliche is you're not playing history. You're playing 2023, and nothing that happens in the past matters unless you let it. That's the coach's answer. That's the easy answer, but that is reality. And again, we just have to take the field, believing in ourselves, believing in our teammates, trusting the program, trusting the game plan, and just be the best. Simplified version, be the best versions of ourselves that we can. And if we take the field, a lot of times you kind of worry about what it says on your chest and maybe even more about what it says on the other team's chest, and you let that affect your mental approach as you head into a ball game. Well, we cannot do that. We got to take the field with confidence, believing in ourselves, and go out and just give it everything we have. And if we do that, let the chips fall where they may. But if we go out there all timid and it'd be a foregone conclusion before we even take the field. So that's where we're at, and the confidence part, that's where we got to be.
Tell us about Andrean and what's going to be the keys for the game tonight, Friday night.
Well, they're a typical Andrean team. They're skilled. They got big. They got good size in the lines, and they execute well in the trenches, and they got a lot of good skill. They fly around. They play with confidence. So you back it up with a solid kicking game and just do everything that a championship program like Andrean does, on a routine basis. Big keys to the game for us just going to be if we can go out and make some positive things happen early and gain some confidence and maybe put a little doubt in their minds. But certainly, take care of the football, don't have turnovers, don't have missed tackles. Just, again, be the best version of us that we can. I remember last year, they ran a swing route into the flats, and our corners, our perimeter defenders didn't get off blocks, and they were down the sideline for about a 60, 70-yard touchdown first play of the game. So then,
I remember that,
the heads go down, and there you have it.
That was that big back that went to Notre Dame.
Yeah. And like the saying goes, you fall into a hole, but you got to crawl out. That means you can get yourself into trouble a lot quicker than you get out of trouble, and that certainly was the issue that night. Just everything that could have went wrong that night did. It was one of those nights where we did some uncharacteristically things wrong. We had some personal foul penalties, had some kids ejected. Just a night that I wasn't very proud to be their coach. I'll tell you that. But I don't foresee that happening again. These kids, last year's group was a good group too. Like I said, just some uncharacteristic things happen, and sometimes when you get in that environment, again, that's when the whole discipline thing takes over, and you got to focus on what you're there to do, and that's play football. We can't control anything the opponent does, but we can only control ourselves. And that's one of the things that we talked about this week is we're playing a quality opponent, and we're going to have to meet the challenge head on.
Anything else?
No. Does it matter, Coach, that Andrean's gotten off to a tough start? You look at their schedule. I mean, two tough teams, Maryville and Valpo, but still, they're going to be, I'm sure, gunning for you now.
Oh, sure. You got to. I mean, that's a realistic statement. The teams they play weeks 1 and 2, and from their perspective, the opportunity they see this week. So again, we have to be willing to meet that head on and go up there and get off that bus and be ready to play.
Kirk,
I mean, they're not going to. We can't expect them to take it easy on us because they're not.
Sure.
So,
Kirk, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it very much, and good luck Friday night.
well, thank you very much. It's always great to be on your show.
All right. Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Back and talk a little North Newton football with Coach John Ewing right after this on 3kgthecage.com.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
All right, back one more time here for Arnie's Pizza, the Kage, 3kg, Kage.com. Weekly coaches show, looking ahead, looking behind. And joining us now, North Newton coach in the cleanup spot, Coach John Ewing. And we just spoke a little bit off the air where your schedule gets a little bit more realistic for a young rebuilding team. This week, somebody that's, more, it's not like you're playing the Green Bay Packers anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. Those first 2 weeks are rough, and we knew that coming in. None of these guys back here from the Midwest Conference are jealous of my first 2 weeks. So Carroll being number 3 in 1A, and we've kind of seen what they've been able to do the last couple of years, and then Rensselaer's Rensselaer, and there's they don't play anybody else in our conference. So we try to be the class and do what we can, and right now with where our program's at, we kind of see it. So we got some building to go, and we're not close, and we know that. So.
Just in that same vein, though, I bet it's pretty important that you play well this week.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk, and I've said it on here before, we talk about being elite every day and resetting standards and making sure that we're doing everything that we can to get to those two programs that we start our season off with. And, it's nice to see where the top of the mountain is and how long your climb is. But now we come back to a reality a little bit here and play programs that are kind of on our level and, get a kind of show, the reality of our situation in 1A.
So what do you take from Friday night's game, if anything?
I think we take a lot from our game. Number one, special teams in both weeks have looked really good. We haven't had any block kicks. We've been able to get some solid returns. We've got 2 turnovers on special teams in 2 weeks. I feel really comfortable with our special teams and where it's at. I think offensively in both weeks, we were able to get into a groove at times and get a couple of first downs on a drive, and then we'd fall apart and get a couple of penalties or bad snaps or whatever. Kind of that 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But at least we're getting the 1 step forward part, right? We get that's a good start. It's a good place to be, especially with. We've talked about our experience and how we're not as experienced as some of these other teams, even though we've got a decent amount of seniors for our roster size. That's a positive for me in a completely new scheme. Defensively, I feel like we've been able to make force tackles. So tackles when we see people in a hole and we meet them in a gap. However, we're not always gap sound. And I feel like our pursuit sometimes gets a little left behind. But overall, there are definitely things that I'm happy with for sure.
So I'm sure each practice is very meaningful then, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, we kind of go through, and these are a few things that I pulled from coaches that I've worked with before, but we have tough Tuesdays. So Tuesdays are our day that we pull the pads off, we're hitting and we're going hard and we're conditioning at the end of practice. And then we have workout Wednesdays and we condition a little heavier during our Wednesday practice just to make sure we're ready to go. And then Thursday is our run through, and just like most other guys, we're helmets only and kind of light because we want to rest up. So each practice for us has a meaning, and there's the philosophy behind it is to get ready for Friday. So,
Coach, looking at your opponent's records, of course, your opponents are 4-0. So imagine that, huh? But you guys have played Lake Station quite a bit. You're ahead in the series in the last 35 years, 13-11. Hadn't played them since 2017, though, when you beat them in the sectional 36-6.
So they go from South Newton to West Central to North Newton, right? Lake Station played
Lake Station,
that's the first 3 games.
You almost think they're down here in Jasper County, don't you?
We're trying to bring them into the Midwest.
Yeah.
So Lake Station, they're a program, it kind of seems, and I'm not super familiar with them. I think we played them back one time when I was at Tri-County back in the early 2000s. It's the only time I've seen them personally. But just kind of watching them on film, it seems like they've had some roster turnover or some injuries at some point. We've seen 3 different quarterbacks. We've seen a couple of different running backs. The things that I take away from them is that they've got a pretty good defensive line. So we've struggled offensive line wise. So we're making some changes this week. We've also got an injury on our offensive line now that we had to take care of. So we've got some young guys that are going to rotate in there. So we've got to be able to control the offensive line side of the ball for us. The line on both sides, but for us, the offensive line is going to be kind of a question mark, and we got to start something this week with that. We got to get our running game going too. Our offense, I know everybody looks at us and we're a spread offense. We come out in 4 and all crazy formations, and but we're a running team, believe it or not. Like, we want to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage. We just haven't been able to do that. If you look at the two, Carroll came out week 1 and their average offensive lineman was 270 pounds. Their average defensive lineman was 265. Like,
that's a pretty good start there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we had one kid that would have fit into those situations for them, and on top of that, we're playing a lot of freshmen in that area, and we got a growing up process to go through. And we know that Rensselaer kind of in the same boat. Age-wise wasn't crazy, but they definitely had size advantage on us. So hopefully this is a game where we can get our feet up underneath us and get going in the way that we want to move the ball and be able to attack not just weaknesses in numbers, but attack the ball where we want to see it. So
kind of nice the way the schedule lays out, where this hopefully will be a game where you gain some confidence and some success, and then go right into Midwest Conference play with your rival, South Newton. So, man, if you can bounce into there right and high, that would be really nice.
Right. We've talked about it this week a lot. The reality of our situation at North Newton and rebuilding a program, we've lost 13 straight games. Now, I've only lost 2 of those since I've been here, and we're a different program this year, but North Newton is North Newton, and that school doesn't change, and those kids feel that too. So, losing 13 straight, this is going to be a week for us to kind of show where we're at and that we're getting better, and kind of lose that old stigma and push it away and move forward as we get into the Midwest.
That's hard, isn't it, to break that? I mean, every team around's had some losing streaks, but that's hard to get rid of, isn't it?
It's hard to break a losing streak, just like it's hard to start a winning streak.
Right.
I think they're kind of the same thing, just in opposite directions. So, that's our goal, though. Is we want to lose 13. That's where we're at. We want to win 13 in a row here soon. So, we've talked about what it takes to get there, and our guys are feeling it. We had a really good talk as a team on Monday about what's bringing these guys back, and why are they here, and what do they want to see and do, and what does football mean to them, and it's always nice to see those guys kind of pour their emotions out on the table. Being football players, we don't always think of it that way, but I think emotion's a big part of this game, and there's got to be some emotion for these guys to come out. Last year they had 13 kids. We're up around 27 now, so those are all positives for me.
That's a great thing in itself.
Absolutely.
Keys for success Friday night.
So first and foremost, I already talked about it. We got to run the football. We got to get the football moving. I think we have one of the best running backs in the conference. We just haven't been able to get him going yet in Caleb Johnson. I think the other thing is, I want to see us do, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, the regular things regularly. So whether that's, getting back to basics, however you want to talk about it. But for us, we throw a lot of shorter passes and getting yak yards and trying to make a play on a number situation in the defense. I want to see us get to that point. Defensively, I want to be able to fill our gaps a little better, make sure that we're gap sound up front. Defensive line, we got to get some motion out of the defensive line. We haven't had a lot of that. And then we had a couple of coverage breaks last week, and I want to fix those too.
I know you had 2 tough games, both shut out twice, but who's played well? Who's played up to expectations?
Sure. So I really look at our leadership group, and once again, we've talked about how Carroll's number 3 in the state right now in 1A, and they're going to run through a lot of teams the way they ran through us. Rensselaer, we're the smallest opponent on their schedule. They're getting into the meat of their schedule now too, and that game is what it is. It's never going to change, and I don't want it to change. But they beat us every year since 1993. That's the reality of that situation. So, when you look at our leadership group, yeah, our stats are limited, but what they've been able to do in situations, and some of those plays don't look very good, but Caleb Johnson's been able to run the ball at a pretty decent clip for what he's been able to see. Colin Williams has been able to deliver the football for the most part on time and to the places that I would like him to throw the football through his progressions. Diego Diaz has been playing basically all 3 ways on the offensive and defensive line, and then he plays some special teams for us too. And that's, you can't imagine the beating that kid's taking every day. And then we've also got Rhett Fox, who I think he leads our team in receiving yards right now and receptions. Which, once again, I realize the stats aren't huge, but, I think you can line up a lot of teams that play those 2 teams at the first of their season, and maybe they probably wouldn't have a lot of great stats either. So I don't really feel bad about our situation or where we're at. It's fine. Did I expect anything different in June? Probably not, but I would have hoped it to have been a little closer in a few of those games point-wise. But it's where we're at. We're gonna get into our season now and kind of shuck off some of those bigger squads and those programs that are a little more advanced than us at the moment, and know that that's the mountain we have to climb. That's the place we want to get to. If we want to be elite, we got to be there. So what's it going to take? And our guys know that it's going to be hard work and integrity and living inside themselves and making sure they're completing every rep as hard as they can, not getting outside of their emotions and continuing to work for something bigger than themselves.
John, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. Good luck Friday night, all right?
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
Good luck, John.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
John Ewing from the North Newton Spartans. Back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage Show on 3KG, thecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
All right, that's a wrap now for looking back at week 2 and looking ahead, a little peek ahead to week number 3 in the high school football season here on 3KG. We want to thank all those fine sponsors that help us bring you high school sports every week during the seasons, and we just love doing it. And thankfully, these folks really just stand out and support their communities really great and help us do our jobs. I want to thank also all the coaches. Just love their continued loyalty to us. Where every one of them show up every week and really is outstanding. And I know they do such a great job for their kids. A lot of tireless effort goes into it with these guys, and many hours. But they love it, and we love tagging along for the ride. So Don't forget, 5:45 is our pregame show from Tri-County High School Friday night, as the Cavaliers will host West Central Trojans in the start of Midwest Conference play. For both squads, it should be a good one. Join us from Tri-County then. Former partners, Bob Kurtz, Scotty Miller, this is Bill Kay, signing off saying good night, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.